Hi and welcome to my channel. In this video we will demonstrate how to configure NAT inside a VPN tunnel. So in this example here we have this company A firewall and this company B firewall. And company A has many different VLANs or many different client VLANs. All these VLANs needs to reach this server on company B. And company B will allow only one IP address. They are not going to allow all these VLANs or all these clients, but they are saying to us we allow only one IP address. So we can use NAT inside the tunnel to send these VLANs netted through one IP address to this gateway, and this gateway will allow it and send it to the server. So let's get started. So first we have this our company A firewall. I have configured here as a bond interface, and this is as a trunk. So the bond interface, we can go to the gateway here and take a look. So this is a bond interface. The bond interface, if we click, let's open the lock here. If we look at it, edit, we can see that it is behind the ETH1 interface. And I have created different VLANs. So VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. These VLANs, the same VLANs, are configured on the switch, on this switch here. So here is VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. This is a trunk that allows all these VLANs to this to the firewall. And here we have these interfaces. Every interface is sitting on a different VLAN. And I'm doing this only to simulate a problem that happens all the time. So all these needs to reach this server at company B. So we need to we will first create a VPN between these, and then create a NAT rule that will hide all these networks behind one IP that company B will allow. So first let's go to our smart console here, and here I have these two gateways, but every gateway has its own policy. So let's look here. So we have got here gateway 10 policy and gateway 20 policy. So company B gateway does not need to be under our control. It could be any other gateway that company B controls. So the idea here, what we will show here in this policy, we will only allow one IP through that NAT rule. So first let's enable the VPN blade. Okay, it is enabled here and there, I think. Okay, so now let's create. So if we look here again, we need to reach this network. So our VPN domain will be this network and all these. So let's look at our network objects here, networks. So I have created all these networks and the company B network. So let's only create a group of all these. So let's create a network group to put all of them. So internal, let's call this internal network. And let's add all these 10.10 networks. So this one, this, 5 different networks. On this NAT VPN, let's comment this. And this network will be the VPN domain of the company B. So now let's go and create our community. Let's choose a star community here. Let's call this NAT inside VPN. For example, let's take legacy here, and we take our gateway, which is this one, and let's choose the domain here and internal. So internal networks. So by internal networks we mean all these networks. So click OK here, and here we add the other gateway, which is 20, and this gateway will only be this network. So, and OK. The encryption, let's leave everything as default. VPN routing default. Okay, what is very important here under advanced, you need to uncheck this disable NAT inside the VPN community. We need to have NAT enabled in this case. So let's click OK here. And install two policies. So this is the first policy. As I said, we have two policies only to simulate a different gateway that you don't have control on. So in reality, in production, you have your own gateway. You need to reach another gateway that you don't have control on. So the other company only needs to allow one IP address, and I will show how to do that. So now let's choose that IP address that we will hide everything behind. The IP address does not need to have any interface behind it. So you can find any IP address that you need to use that this company will allow. So let's, for example, let's take, so we created as a host, so host, so we can NAT, call this NAT IP, and call it, for example, 10, for example, 550 or something like this, and click OK. And now we go to our NAT policy. So here we have automatic rules to NAT all my these networks. So let's create a manual above here, so that this manual will take the traffic first. So original source. So the source is our networks, our internal networks, internal networks. The destination is this server here. So let's create a host, and we call it external server, something like that. And we do the same for that here, something like this. So the original destination is our external server. Services is any, is okay. Translated source, we need to add our IP address that the other company will allow. So this is this one, NAT IP. So we add that NAT IP, and we need it to be hide, not static, but hide. So right click, NAT method, and hide. This way our policy is ready. So let's try to ping. Let's run all these. Run, and run. Okay. Let's shut down this and this. Okay. Let's try from any of these. So if you open this one, for example, and try to ping, okay, let's show what IP address does this show IP. We can see that this machine here have this IP address, so 10.10.2.1, and its gateway is 10.10.2.2. So the gateway is a bond interface here, a VLAN interface. So for example, this 10.10.2.2 is here. You can look 10.10.2.2. So this can ping its gateway, for example. Let's start there. Yes, it can ping its gateway, and it can ping the internet. So ping Google here, and it can ping the Google. So we can go out. So now let's create a policy here in the other gateway, the company B gateway, which will only allow, so source will be this 10.10.5.50, this NAT IP. This is the source. Destination is the external server, this server. VPN, let's NAT inside VPN. Let's take any here, action, accept, track, log, and let's change this to drop. So only VPN will be allowed. And the other side here, let's create same policy, but the source will be all our internal network. Like this, destination is the server, external server, VPN. Let's choose our NAT inside VPN, any, accept, and log. And let's install this policy on both gateways. Install the first and then install the other. Let's wait a little bit here. Okay, now it's done installing, so let's open now any other host here. So let's take this one and show IP. So this one is 10.10.5.1. So ping 172.22.22. And here we can see it's dropping. So let's take this IP and see it on our logs, why it is dropping. So it is correct here. Let's look at our NAT policy. Okay, so as you can see here, I think I have created the NAT policy on the wrong gateway. So if you look here, we have the NAT policy here, and this is wrong. So we need to remove this, because this is not our, in reality, this is not our gateway. So really remove, delete this, and we need to create it here. Okay, now we need to create our NAT policy. So above, it should be a manual rule above all other hiding or automatic rules. So original source is our internal network. Original destination is the server. So let's take this server here. Service is any, translated source. So now let's take our 10.10.5 what we call it, our NAT IP, and let's change that to hide and install the policy again. Let's install it on both. It's the first one here, the other one. So now we can go back and do a test again. So ping the same, and now we can see that we have a ping. So let's go back there and check our logs again. So the IP of this one was this IP here. So let's check logs here, and these were successful. And here we can see NAT rule number 1, and it was failing because it was trying to go out to the other gateway using these NAT rules, and by using these we are using our external interface, which is not allowed. You look here again, the other company allows only this IP address, the NAT IP. They could allow our external IP, but in production you don't use your external IP for these purposes. But you find any other IP, the other company will allow it, and you put it there. So if we look here, we can see it's decrypting all the traffic. So now we can, let's take this network here. Maybe it is already, no, just click on this one here, open, show IP. Okay, this is the 10.10.2.1. So let's ping our server on the other side, and it is successful. So let's take this IP again to logs and try to see what is happening. So let's wait a little bit. Here you can see this log, and we see it is using NAT rule number 1, and NAT rule number 1 is the rule that we have created manually, and it is matching this rule here, which is this one, this rule. So we can look here again. We can see here, we can see it is only this, our NAT IP is the source. It is not seeing any other thing. It is only 10.10.550. So here you can take any IP. So let's change that IP. So NAT IP. So let's change that to any other IP. For example, I don't know, 100. So just to demonstrate that you can choose any IP address. You don't need to have that IP address in your routing table or something. Any IP address will work. It only needs to be allowed on the other side. So the other company needs to allow it like this. So let's install the policy again on the other gateway. Install. So now we have changed from 10.10.550 to 100, and we will see it will still work because the IP address does not have any meaning. It's only an object to hide all other interfaces or all other IPs behind it. Okay, so let's try to open other one. So now let's try to open this one, show IP and ping our server, and it fails. And why it fails here? Because when we use the 100 IP, we need to add that to our VPN domain. So let's create a new host here, or let's look at how that look like. Okay, NAT inside VPN. So we need to add it here, internal network. So let's create a network and add it to our network. For example, let's say 100 and 24, 100 and 0 here, like this. And let's add that to our internal networks. So let's take internal, something like that, internal networks. Let's open that and add our 100 network to that, and click OK and install the policy again. So install this gateway and install the other one. Let's wait until this process is done. See a difference. So now it is done installing. So let's try to ping again. And now we can see that we have a ping. So let's take this IP here and go to the logs to see this one. And we can see that we are using the NAT rule number 1. And if we go there to the policy here, and you can see now it is 100 IP. So as I said, you can choose any IP address. You don't need to have a routing you don't need to have it in your routing table. Any IP address will work. The only condition is that the other company should allow it in a rule like this one. So now if we go back there, all these can reach this server through one IP address. So this video is done here. Please comment if you have any question, and see you in the next video.